Alright, hello Internet, this is Jack Red VT, your knight in not-so-shining armor. And, it's been a while, but I'm back. Work was a little hectic last week, which is why I only had the one stream of, Ultra Hand. But, anyway, I'm not here to rant about work, I'm here to play a game. Today, or this time, we're starting Pikmin, released originally on Nintendo GameCube in 2001, though for this I'll be playing the Wii version, because in my opinion that's the definitive version, in my opinion. I know this was released on the Switch with Pikmin 2 as well, coincided with the release of Pikmin 4, but and that version is certainly, acceptable, but in my opinion, this is the way to play it. Pikmin had a pretty funny start. Initially at Space World 2000, where Nintendo showed off the GameCube for the first time, one of the things they showed was Super Mario 128, the quote-unquote sequel to Mario 64, but really it was just a means of showing off 128 different Marios moving around and doing different things to highlight the power of the GameCube with so many different characters, something that the N64 would never have been able to accomplish. But then apparently this game became something called Adam and Eve, where, from the sounds of what we know about that, and based on the name, effectively kind of like a god simulator, but ActRaiser kind of already did that. But then supposedly one day working in his garden, Miyamoto was struck with the idea for what would eventually become Pikmin, that would eventually be worked into the title to start a new IP, start a new IP, that thing that people say Nintendo never does and kind of ignores whenever they do. Unfortunately, Pikmin, much as I love the series, the sales numbers just aren't there. When you look at Nintendo franchises, in my opinion, there's three tiers of it. The top tier, of course, you have Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon, franchises that even non-gamers could recognize at a glance. Then you have the mid-tier franchises, which I put stuff like Metroid, Star Fox, Kirby, Animal Crossing, ones that people in the gaming sphere might know about, but to your non-gamer friends, they probably wouldn't know it. And then Pikmin falls into the low-tier category, along with stuff like F-Zero, Fire Emblem, Earthbound, franchises that only Nintendo fans would really know about, because Nintendo fans are the only ones that would really give them a shot. But anyway, yeah, Pikmin. As much as I like the series, I can't deny that the sales numbers just really aren't there. This one, on the GameCube, I think only sold about 1 million and change, which was pretty good for GameCube, but the GameCube didn't really sell all that well. So, yeah, and even though this wasn't a launch game for the GameCube, the GameCube coming out November 18th, 2001, this coming out December 3rd, 2001, yeah, it might as well have been a launch title. In fact, I actually got it on Christmas of 01 with my GameCube. I got this, I got Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. That was my Christmas of 2001. But anyway, let's jump into Pikmin here. Little carrot people. see the 2009 copyright because this is the Wii version. Kind of redundant considering the Wii was actually backwards compatible with the GameCube. So, this being part of their, what they called, this game was basically part of what they call their new Play Control series, which is mainly just GameCube games given a slight upgrade and basically just given their motion control stuff and moved from the GameCube to the Wii. Which you think moving from the GameCube, which didn't sell all that well, to the Wii would help these games sell, but they didn't. I do have it on the GameCube, and I do have the Switch version, but again, I think this is the definitive version. The only option is to have music and sound effects. Why you would want those set at anything other than, the highest, I don't know, but here's a high score, just kind of calculating, stuff that we'll get into when we get into the actual game. Challenge mode, that will be its own separate stream at some point, but for now, let's bring up the main menu. 16. Okay, so my file here was 16, which I'm going to use as a sort of metric to see how well I do. This isn't going to be like a 6-day run that I've heard about, or no death run, or a 50 Pikmin run, or a 50 Pikmin no death 6-day run. I'm pretty good at this game, but not that amazing. But I will use 16 as sort of my benchmark to see if I can potentially clear it in less than 16 in-game days. If I do, then that means I'm getting better as a player. If not, then, well, I chalk it up to the Let's Play curse. And I think on a race I want to copy. My one button isn't working for some reason. Almost. I have the 16-day log, but anyway, let's get started. Space, the final frontier. This is the voyages of the starship Dolphin. Its continuing mission: to seek out strange new worlds, seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Never mind. A meteorite has struck the second ship. I repeat, a meteorite has struck the second ship. The impact site. Little buddy's knocked around. Look at that grass texture. Never mind, look at the ship being broken. That's all heck. Anyway, time for my William Shatner impression. Alright, so I'll read this here. My name is Captain Olimar. While traveling through space, my ship was struck by a meteor. I must have blacked out, and I awoke on the surface of a weird planet. With so many parts lost, the skeletal hull of my beloved Dolphin is a painful sight. The engine is gone. I'm stranded. To make matters worse, my atmospheric sensors indicate this planet's environment contains high levels of poisonous oxygen. My life support systems can function for only 30 days. If I can't repair the dolphin by then, no, better not to think about it. I must find the missing ship parts. Mr. Sulu, head warp 9. There we have a little fella here, Captain Olimar, who will have a William Shatner voice throughout this playthrough. Come over here. And we get a little ship thingy here. A strange thing has appeared before me. I had barely begun my search when it reared up, as if it were waiting for me. It then dropped a single seed. What is it? Is it alive? Is it a machine? It resembles a vegetable on my home planet that we call an onion. I shall call this an onion 2. Onion 2. Flavor Boogaloo. We have a little plant here. The seed that the onion dropped took root in the soil and has now produced an adorable little sprout. The sprout emits a strange light and sways back and forth without benefit of wind. I cannot help but think it is calling to me. I am compelled. I must approach it and press A. Yep, so this first day is just a tutorial. Pluck it. I am Steve. It's Steve the Red Pikmin. Thank you, Chugga Conroy. And for the sake of keeping things simple, all Red Pikmin will collectively be known as Steves. Anyway, extraordinary. When I plucked a sprout, it turned out to be a living creature, not a plant. Picking it has done no visible damage. It just stands there, staring at me. Its shape is similar to the Pick brand carrots I love so much. I believe I shall call it a Pikmin. Giving it a name that will confuse all the Pokemon fans, because in an alternate timeline, this would just be a Pokemon. Here I am, stranded on a toxic planet, fighting to survive. I hear them intrigued. I must research this fascinating creature. I shall try to grab it with A, then throw it in the direction I point. Then I will call it to my side with B. Perhaps it will react to C and pressing down on the D-pad while pointing as well. This is effectively a tutorial explaining how the controls work. Obviously, I'm playing the Wii version. On the GameCube, it would show GameCube controller and go off of that controller. Switch would, I believe, do the same thing with the Joy-Cons. I don't actually know if that version's compatible with the GameCube, adapter thingy. Personally, I think that thing is kind of meh, or kind of whatever. Anyway. The following controls appear to allow me several viewpoints. Z to rotate the camera behind Olimar, left and right on the D-pad to zoom, and up to change perspective. Basically from overhead and not overhead. Anyway, I must survive. I need to familiarize myself with these controls and my surroundings. So yeah, we're gonna... This is kind of like the default version, the default, what do you call it, distance. Personally, I prefer to keep it as far, zoomed out as possible, simply because you can see more stuff. But, let's take Steve here, pluck him on that flower, just miss the flower and do that. It's up. More seeds. Astonishing! The onion has sown more seeds. Small red pellet Pikmin harvested after cutting down flower appears to be some type of food that can propagate more Pikmin. The onion seems to be a sort of incubator. Needless to say, I must study this strange life form more. And knowing James T. Kirk, it would be studying it in a manner that's not TOS friendly. So, anyway, hold on. There. I'm supposed to, throw it right on top of the pellet in order to. I think, what I'm trying to do is throw it. If you throw it directly on top of the pellet, it just comes down immediately. You can also just have Olimar punch, and that will also tear down the flowers. Can't really see it here, but basically when Olimar's by himself, or when the Pikmin are kind of off somewhere, pressing A lets him spin here. It basically does like a dab punch almost. Maybe adjust my sensor bar a bit here. That's a problem with trying to stream Wii games is gotta factor in that sensor bar. Chuck the Pikmin all over there. All 9 of them. Funny thing is, on the GameCube, this would be where the number on top would be in blue to show how many you need, and then the number below would be in red to show how many are carrying it. Though with the Wii version, it's basically color-coded based on the Pikmin carrying it. There with a number 10 on it, so obviously we need 10 Pikmin to move it. That sound means it's finished. Anyway, the Pikmin are as curious as children. They form groups to form tasks that would be impossible for an individual. Yeah, they are, in a sense, the Borg. Keep with the Star Trek theme, but anyway, a glimmer of hope has begun to shine in my heart. If I can make use of their skills, perhaps I can fix my ship. I shall sum up all I've learned of Pikmin conduct. Approach and press A to pick sprites. Press A to grab Pikmin. Release the throw. Press B to call them. C to dismiss. Press down on the D-pad. Point to command and control the group. Use Z and up, and left and right to control perspective. I shall record this in my computer and access it with plus. Again, for those playing along at home, this would be adjusted based on whether it's the GameCube or Switch controls as well. Here. Amazing! There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. By stroke of pure luck, or Deus Ex Machina, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Fate has smiled upon me, but how will I get it back to the dolphin? That's where the little carrot people come in. Because we need 20 of that. We only have 14. Thankfully there's pellets up here. You can see another thing over there where the cursor's pointing. Place them here. Fortunately, they can't break this wall. But we'll be back for that at some point. Meantime, let's just take these pellets back. If we put more Pikmin on them, they go a little faster. Though with only one or two carrying the one pellet, I don't think it matters all that much. Either way, typically you want to put as many Pikmin as you can onto something to get it to move faster. Fortunately, this first day doesn't have like a time limit or anything like that. It just kind of keeps going until you get the rocket, or the engine back to the rocket. Also, fun fact, the dolphin... oh, wait, hold on. When many Pikmin seeds sprout at once, I find it rather tedious to pluck them from the ground individually. My wife always told me I was no good at routine tasks. Damn you, Hurrah. I guess I'll try to get it all done at once by repeatedly tapping A until I pick all the Pikmin from the ground. I've noticed that when I Pikmin in a group, they can fill with excitement and flush bright color. At other times, they revert to a paler hue and give off a dim glow. Paying close attention to these differences is bound to help me distinguish between Pikmin. Whenever you bring a lot of pellets or whatever to the onion, kind of have to just pluck them all at once. Just keep mashing A until you pluck them all. Anyway, before I was interrupted there, the name of Olimar's ship, the Dolphin, is a nod to the GameCube's code name during its development. I believe they went with the name Dolphin because the GameCube could render pretty realistic water for its time. Which is probably why a lot of games from the early 2000s had that beach aesthetic or whatever that you supposedly hear about. Wait, hold on. Some of them are working on it. It's a bit of a... this will help us later on. If we can somehow get these Pikmin over here. Fortunately, as you can see here, the little cursor here is basically as far as Olimar can throw. The second cursor is where the whistle goes. Fortunately, Olimar can't always throw that far, but... if you position yourself right, they'll start to try to, tear down this wall. I don't think this is actually possible on the GameCube version. I have done it on the Switch version. I think what I'm going to do instead is just toss them there, go over here. console. And now they're gonna work on that wall. Meantime, let me just double check my camera here. Okay, I think down is what lets me have them march. Anyway, the HUD down here. Let me move my character not out of the way here. Anyway, this kind of shows the Pikmin population. This number is the ones under Olimar's control. This one is ones out in the field, as in not in the Onion. And this is all the Pikmin total, including those in the Onion. And over here is Olimar's health meter. Has a health bar that if it hits 0, that's bad choo-choo, and we don't want that. Someone's messaged me on Discord, but come on, you little nerds. Oh, and they've broken the wall down. Yeah, it's the down one to have them essentially march like an army. The army of little carrot people. Funny is how when you pull it out like that, it goes all fast and janky. But then when you pull it close, it slows down. It actually sounds like a real song. Which is that. 20 Pikmin carries, 25, so, which is the most we can get on day 1. So I'm just going to have all of them carry it. This wall being broken down will be a bit of a time saver when we eventually have to come back here. Yeah. It's a... Oh. By hitting the minus button, we can continue and continue from a previous save or other stuff that we'll get into over the next couple in-game days in Pikmin. Bring over the engine. It attaches itself to the bottom. Voila, the ship is functional again. Oh, glorious! With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back toward home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly. But what has become of the remaining parts? That search starts tomorrow. Now we have the end of the day scene. Pikmin running back to the Onion. Olimar going into his ship. I think there's supposed to be a louder engine noise there. Maybe the Wii version muffled it a bit. Also, I got a question, how exactly is it able to lift off like that? Wait, okay. One day since impact. Captain's log, stardate 060226. I have somehow managed to launch the dolphin, but I was surprised to see the Onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on the planet's surface, or have they merely decided to join me for other reasons? Either way, it seems they will help me again tomorrow. The dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on the planet Okataki. Analysis shows life support systems will function for only 29 more days. How can I repair my dolphin in such a short time? A dense forest is visible on the surface below. As it holds the keys to my survival, I'll name it Forest of Hope. I'll explore it tomorrow. And this is basically what happens at the end of every in-game day. It shows change in Pikmin population. Pikmin sprouted. 25, which is again the most we can have at this point. Lost in battle, none, because there's... Well, I guess technically I could have... I guess technically it was a way to kind of lose them in battle, or something on day one, but... Anyway, and then there's left behind if you don't manage to pick any up. If you don't pick up the stragglers. But anyway, 29 days and 29 parts. In theory, should mean a part a day, but... Again, those 6-day runners are insane and able to collect an entire area's part in one single in-game day. The most I think I've ever gotten in a single day was 4, maybe 5. I'm not 100% on that. Definitely 4. And in terms of total days, I think the fastest I've ever done it personally was 13 days. Again, I'm not 100% on that. As you saw at the beginning, 16 was from the last time I played this. We'll see if I can do better than that. But given the Let's Play curse, probably not. Okay. Save. Or don't save. To the Forest of Hope. A lot of parts in this area. If we push my model again, plus button, we can access Olamar's voyage log, which is just the end of day reports if you felt like reading them for flavor text or lore or whatever. It can take a little while to load. I don't know if it's just my game just being a little banged up over the years, or if it just naturally does that. I forget how long it is on the GameCube and Switch. I imagine it wouldn't have long. I don't remember any load times on that, but anyway, we're technically still in tutorial mode. My dolphin has returned to the surface, along with Pikmin's onion. Being alone on a strange planet makes me somewhat uneasy, so I shall call the Pikmin out of the onion. All I need to do is stand in the light beneath the onion and press A. Take Pikmin out. I'm going to take out all these little buggers. We're going to attack that. Attack that, even though it's not red. When dealing with pellets, it's very important to keep them color-coded whenever possible. Because even though it says 1 on there, the fact that it was a red pellet means we get 2 Pikmin from it. But this one being yellow, we just get 1. Come on, sprout. Thank you. Over here, find this grass. This is sort of another mechanic that you really want to get your head around. Another intriguing discovery. A local variety of cress, which is a sort of yellow nectar. Nectar, yeah. That's what it is, nectar. When the Pikmin drink this delicacy, they instantly mature into flowers. This apparent Pikmin favorite seems to be full of nutrition. Just to remind you, nutrition starts with nut. Closer observation is needed to determine the strengths and peculiarities of these flower Pikmin. The secret with the Pikmin is they start off with a leaf, then they grow into a bud, and then a flower. In fact, if you leave them buried in the ground, they can, over time, mature into buds or flowers. Unfortunately, that takes a while, and time is really not on Olimar's side, given the 30-day time limit, even though we can take care of it much faster, but anyway, we need them all to break this wall down. Unfortunately, the first couple days are kind of slow, as not only is it a tutorial, but it kind of plays out the same no matter how you play it, unless you're one of those speedrunners who manage to take advantage of this game's kind of jank physics. Because, this game is 25 years old, and honestly, it hasn't aged all that well. I mean, it's acceptable for what it needs to do, but later games do such a better job. And I don't think it's just because they have more processing power. But over here we have Bulborbs, basically the Goombas of the series. For Pikmin to attack them, if you land a Pikmin right on top, at least for these small guys, it breaks their back basically, and takes them out instantly. And yeah, that was a soul that you saw float out of the Bulborb. Rated E for everyone. And the same thing happens whenever the Pikmin get killed as well. They let out a little sigh, and then a Pikmin ghost flies away. Just go over there, but I don't trust myself with just 6 to take those guys on. Okay, now we're at 50. Which, if you're doing a challenge run, is apparently the minimum needed to complete this game in terms of, picking items up and all that. Speaking of, why, it's the Eternal Fuel Dynamo. It has an unlimited energy supply. I won't have to worry about saving electricity anymore. This will make my fight for survival a bit easier. So meanwhile, I'm gonna go after these, so those guys can take that back. Let's go take this 10 pellet. I guess you can take that even though it's blue, so... Well, there's a adult Bulborb. Need a little more than just throwing it on its back to take that guy down. Now time to button mash. the name of the game. Well, actually, no. Crash landing on the planet here, it's basically Survivor. Season 420. Given all these planets. Almost there. We have 81. Behold my army of carrots. Take care of this bastard. In later games, you would want to throw the Pikmin on top of him. You could kind of do that in this version, but ideally the strategy is to bum rush him, basically. Oh, no. Okay, only lost 2. Or did I? Thing ate 11 Pikmin. Jesus. I'm gonna take this there. And I'm gonna. Oh, no. Instead, we're going to take. Can I finish the sentence? My clock has indicated the coming of noon. From now on, I must pay close attention to the sun meter on my monitor and choose my actions accordingly. So, it is best for me to review my monitor's data. Across the top of my monitor, the sun meter and day display. At the bottom are my spacesuit damage meter and Pikmin gauges. From the left, these numbers reflect Pikmin under my command, Pikmin in the field, and total Pikmin, including those in onions. To adjust my monitor, I can press Z to rotate the camera. Left or right on the D-pad to zoom, and up on the D-pad to change the viewpoint. You can also press plus to view the detailed computer analysis. We're just gonna dismiss them around this. See, it takes 40 Pikmin to carry that. Though we can go up to 60 Pikmin on that. Unfortunately, since that asshole ate 11 of my Pikmin, I don't have any to send over here to effectively multitask, which that's the name of the game, effectively multitasking. If you want to get good, you gotta learn to juggle multiple things at once. Back. And little seeds came out in the cutscene. Eternal Fuel Dynamo. This should light things up. No more candles for me. I've now recovered 2 of 30 parts. If I can find just 3 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. Okay, get over here, you little shits. It's okay, I know it sounds like I'm bad-mouthing them, but they share a collective brain cell, so it's not like we hurt their feelings or anything. No. Keep mixing up the controls. Anyway, go tear that down while I go over here and pluck your siblings? Brothers? I don't know. Other Pikmin. Okay, the red Pikmin are collectively called Steve. A Pikmin because these dumbasses trip a lot, so be careful. They trip, they fall apart, they tripped, they get lost, and then you don't know where they went. But here we have a yellow one. Dropped a yellow seed. Let's not screw up this time and actually bum rush him properly. And that's how it's done. Though later games, it's recommended not to, swarm them, but rather to throw Pikmin on them. Let's dismiss these guys. Pluck our little yellow guy here. I don't remember if Chugga or anyone gave the yellow Pikmin a name, but collectively, I'm going to call the yellow Pikmin Bob. The color is different, but it seems to be a Pikmin nonetheless. First glance suggests this one has what, in some circles, could be considered very large ears. They give Spock a run for their money. It looks like it may weigh less than the others. In what other ways might it be different from the red Pikmin? I must be sure to observe it closely. I can hold a Pikmin for a moment with A, and then swap it for another by pressing B. So now we need to... We have a pretty decent army of... pretty decent-sized red army. Not communist much. But now we need to build up some yellows, even though yellows are kind of useless in this game. They redeem themselves in later games, but for the first game, they're the least useful. Yeah, they can be thrown higher. That doesn't really factor in too often, I don't think. Whenever I'm so close to the onion like this, it kind of zooms in automatically. And as you can see here, because I have yellow Pikmin carrying these, the numbers here are yellow. In the GameCube version, I believe the top number is always blue, the bottom number is always red. I have made yet another Pikmin-related discovery. Just when I was about to exceed 100 Pikmin in the field, the onion stopped expelling seeds. Yet the total number of Pikmin continued to climb. It seems that once there are 100 Pikmin in the field, subsequent seeds get stored inside the onion. Thus, no more than 100 Pikmin can be in the field at one time in any area. That's kind of a dumb mechanic, but I don't know, maybe 128 was a little too much for the GameCube, so they cut it at 100. But we have these over here. Carrying a little thingamajiggy. The yellow Pikmin picked up some peculiar stones. Why did they decide to grab them? This action seems to be instinctive to the yellow Pikmin. But just what are these strange glowing stones? Brightly glowing cracks cover them. Perhaps these cracks indicate that there's tremendous power locked away within. This merits further research. Yeah, we need these bomb rocks to take down these stone walls. Because if we... Oh. And I'm probably gonna get screwed up here once I get out of this. Anyway, glowing rocks the yellow Pikmin picked up seem to be explosive stones. Perhaps they know that these stones can be used as powerful weapons. The bomb rocks are dangerous, so I must take care when using them. But they should be able to blast open the stone walls that block the pathway. I may even be able to use them against some wild creatures. I must be vigilant. When I throw bomb rock carrying Pikmin into mortars, they will toss their bomb rocks at nearby walls or obstacles. The explosive power of the bomb rocks is tremendous, so I must keep a distance. Yeah, there's bomb rocks. I think those ones are one time only for the sake of, showing it off. But, no, I want to lead. I keep forgetting to. I keep hitting C to dismiss them when I should be hitting down to guide them. I can. Oh, almost sundown. My clock is indicating the approach of sunset. Pikmin waiting beneath the dolphin and onions will probably enter the onions on their own. But if I don't call the stragglers and add them back to the group, they may not be able to get back. I am sure that the Pikmin still planted are safe, but I am somewhat concerned about leaving Pikmin to fend for themselves in the darkness. We got 99. Got 99 Pikmin and a which ain't one. But where'd that other... There he is. Yeah, what the hell are you doing over here? Since I have these bomb rocks, I might as well use them to break this wall down. Oh, and I got in the way of this here. Recovered 2 parts. 3 more will increase my abilities. Walk from ship status. I'm gonna pre-repair my spacesuit. Yes. Olimar will take damage from enemy attacks, but if but if it takes too much damage, you can just go under here and that'll recover his health. But it is the end of the day. My little carrot army. We'll dismiss them. Now, even though the yellow onion is far away from here, the fact they're in my group means they will be safe, so thankfully we don't have to worry about that. Take off. Bulborbs bitching about no food, which is how you know that they all made it back. Anyway, day 2. 2 days since I landed. It appears that many of my ship's parts have landed in this region. If I can just recover the parts of my radar, I should be able to use my radar screen. How that would improve my chances. Then I'd only have to press plus to locate my parts. Yet, there seem to be many hostile life forms here. If I am attacked, and my spacesuit takes damage, I must return to my ship, stand in front of it, and press A to make suit repairs. As I explore, I must pay attention to my suit's damage meter in the bottom left corner of the screen. And you see here, 104 sprouted total, which is quite a lot for one day, actually, I think. Unfortunately, we lost 12 in battle, which was stupid. And when it says lost in battle, I think that just means, it really means that they died in any means, not just being, like, attacked by an enemy. And none left behind, thankfully. Fortunately, I'm sure there will be at least a couple that don't make it that way. But save. And we're gonna go back to the force mode. Let's see what waits us for day 3. And now the yellow onion comes right next to us. Thankfully. So first I'm gonna do 75 reds, and the rest yellow, and it'll stop you when there are 100 Pikmin out. Let's dig up some of this nectar to try to get the Bobs up to speed, alongside the Steves. Damn it! Why do I keep getting those mixed up? Gotta remember that when I'm doing this, because unlike in later games, one Pikmin can swallow up all that nectar. This way where there's enemies, or I can take the other path where the enemies haven't respawned yet. These guys will respawn every couple of days. And there we go. We have a dark wall, which is just a stronger wall. How did I lose 3 Pikmin? Did they... I think that's what's called the crushing glitch, where because the jank controls, sometimes Pikmin will just kind of fall through the floor when an enemy or whatever falls on them. And when that happens, they fall into the void and they die. Which I'm sure is what happened here. On that. I'm gonna go pick up your buddy here. Almost done. I'm only doing this because there's Pikmin on the other side. Some of them slipped through this little hole here and ended up on the other side. Guys can be pretty freaking annoying. Who told you guys to take this shit back? Grubs, the purple ones are male shear grubs, the pink ones are female. The female ones can't actually attack, they're just kind of there. And the purple ones can attack, In fact, they have a bullshit mechanic in this game where they're invincible when they grab onto a Pikmin. So, if they grab a hold of a Pikmin, say goodbye to it, because you're not going to get it back. Anyway, it's my whimsical radar. With this, I'll be able to see all nearby ship parts in a single glance. I just press plus to check it. This find fills me with great hope. Yeah, despite all the parts missing, the whimsical radar is the only one with any kind of actual function in the game in terms of, like, upgrades. Other parts will just kind of allow us to go to certain areas after collecting a certain number of them. But aside from that, only the radar has any real function. Pikmin 2 would fix that by having things be upgrades. The camera has to adjust here to show the part get attached. Whimsical radar. This important part can detect the locations of the other missing parts. The radar will be added to my monitor, which I can press plus to view. Up or down on D-pad zooms in and out. This will surely help me in my search for the remaining parts. I have now recovered 3 parts. If I can find just 2 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. Realistically, I should be paying attention to the color coordination here, but early on, that's not really that important. Just kind of grab whatever you can and send it wherever the chips, let the chips fall where they may. There is that 20 pellet up there that I should be able to get with my yellows, assuming I have 24 here. But anyway, here's the radar. Zoom out. There's the map, the ship, the onions, Olimar, and the Pikmin. Again, color coordinated. The green ones are buried in the ground. And the stars are ship parts. Also, that one that's kind of outside the base area. Pikmin 1 has a kind of weird mechanic that, personally, I'm glad they never brought back, where if a large number of Pikmin, perish in a battle or whatever, occasionally some sprouts may appear where the other Pikmin fell. Lore-wise, I'm guessing this is just kind of, their DNA spilling somewhere, and just, as luck would have it, some manage to make a seed, and others don't. I don't know. It can be annoying when they're just kind of out in the middle like that. But let's chop these little fucks. And he's a flower, I can see here. Okay, not gonna mess up with dismissing them when I want to have them charge. Okay, what the hell? Yeah, the AI for these Pikmin in the first game is stupid. It gets better in later games, but God, are they stupid in this one. I need all these in order to tear down this wall. The light-colored ones can be anywhere from 3 to 6. The dark ones, I believe, are always 9. Also, fun fact, in the game's code, there's little portraits that show for all the types of Pikmin being able to carry bomb rocks and not just the yellows. So at one point, red Pikmin would have been able to do this, but I guess to give the yellow some purpose, they just gave them the bomb rocks. It's the extraordinary bolt. I bought this incredible bolt because the salesman told me it is of extraordinary quality that is indiscernible to the average person. Exactly what makes it so extraordinary is a secret, but just look at it. Extraordinary. Fortunately, Olimar misheard the guy. When the salesman said extraordinary, he actually meant extraordinary. So he basically got swindled. Because this is just a fancy bolt. And these little assholes trip a lot. Which is why I'm fairly certain at least a couple will get left behind over the course of this, playthrough. Just know that if they get left behind like that, I'm not doing it on purpose. It just kind of... They're stupid. And that's a honey wisp up there. Put the bolt back. Extraordinary bolt. This bolt's bolt. Bolt's the kind of bolt that only a true bolt-sewer, can understand. Bolt. Heard you like bolts, so put a bolt on your bolt so you can bolt while you bolt. And now it doesn't sound like a word anymore. I made 4 parts, 1 more to increase the ship's capabilities, which is just a fancy way of saying unlocking the next area. That little thing I hit there was a honey wisp. They drop nectar if you hit them, which is important. You want that. Everybody wants that. There's a couple more parts I can get here. Just have to throw the Pikmin up here. So over to the left, you can see there's water, and well, the Pikmin can't swim. Olimar's fine because he's in a space suit, but the Pikmin, they'll drown, basically. And now they're up there. Just gonna make our way over. They said we can use bomb rocks on the enemies, so throw one here. Take that, take down half his health, and boom goes the dynamite. It's the shock absorber. This apparatus counteracts the shaking and swaying that normally occurs during flight. It's smooth sailing with this in place. Usually. That'll be 30 for that. And then just whoever, grab that. Reds, that's fine. Yellows, not really that useful. Sorry to say, but it's true. They get better in later games. Honey Wisp. Piece of crap. Down. Electric here. This, speaking in Shatnerisms, is hell in my throat, but it's funny, so I have to do it. Anyway, shock absorber. This nifty nailed device counteracts the shaking and swaying experienced in typical space flight. What's swaying? Space is a vacuum. In fact, technically, once you get moving, you technically don't even need to keep pushing forward. You just keep going. I have recovered 5 parts. increasing the dolphin's capabilities. My search can now cover a wider area. Get a little cutscene showing part of the ship fixing itself. The little lights on the outside were red before, but now they're yellow, which indicates where we can go. I don't know why I'm doing this, because there's one more part I can get if I'm fast enough. And honestly, I think that would be more important than growing more Pikmin at the moment, because we'll get plenty of opportunities to grow Pikmin. Being plants, they just kind of grow everywhere. Anyway. No, don't attack big boy. Such dumbasses. Since I'm too close, he's gonna keep looking for me. So we gotta back off. Okay, he's going back to sleep. Do I have multiple bomb rocks or just one? Okay, I have just the one. So you're just gonna have to sit there, because I don't want to accidentally set it off. Attack. And Bob's your uncle. That's why we're calling the yellow guys Bob. Did I say you could do that? I found the Nova Blaster. This emits a dazzling burst of light, capable of destroying almost anything. I'm not exactly sure about this, but the promotional brochure claims that its blast can travel in the currents of space-time, smashing through stars and into the rifts of space. Okay, let's that, and then we'll just give this stuff to whoever. I don't care at this point. Yellow, take that. Okay, I believe that's all the parts we can get right now in this area. What the fuck are you guys doing up there? Blaster. Okay. Nova Blaster. This is a weapon of such incredible destructive force that it can blast stars into tiny pieces. It has a strange allure. Yeah, I would enjoy it if I could blow up stars, but... So it's basically Death Star condensed into a little laser cannon. We've covered 6 parts. If I can find just 6 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. You know what? I'm gonna give that to the yellows since they're numbers on too. And there's one greedy little fuck sucking up the nectar. Okay, almost. Am I missing any? Okay, okay. Technically, I could go get that one part, but that'll be easier with other Pikmin that we'll find. For now, let's toss the yellows up here. That's 20 Karrots. It seems like they put here specifically just so we get more yellows. And cartoony sound effects as it falls over. Also, if you're playing along with the GameCube version, be careful with the bomb rocks. If you throw Pikmin and whistle at them, they'll drop it. And if you're too close, that will blow yourself up, basically. And in that version, you just kind of want to, if you want to pick them up without setting off the bomb rocks, you have to throw them and then walk towards them and make physical contact. They fixed that for the Wii version, thankfully. And the Switch version, I'm guessing it's just based off of this version, so it applies there too. I'm fairly certain there's supposed to be a much louder sound for that engine, but I think the Wii version, it's kind of muted. Like, 3 days since impact, I now add yellow Pikmin to my list of discoveries. These creatures can wield bomb rocks, so perhaps I can use them to blast down rock walls and open up new regions. Red and yellow Pikmin, as well as bomb rock carriers, break into squads when dismissed and see. Grab one for a moment. By holding A, I can swap Pikmin, and by then pressing B. Funny enough, I don't think that's possible in the GameCube version. Pikmin 2 would add a feature where you could toggle between the different colored Pikmin, as well as, in this case, the bomb rock holders. But the GameCube version, I don't believe that's actually possible. Yeah, the GameCube version kind of... It's very hard to recommend nowadays, especially since getting a hold of a copy would probably run you $100. I do have the GameCube version somewhere, but my GameCube doesn't really work anymore. So... like, it boots up and all that, but it doesn't read the discs. Pretty decent amount for this stage of the game. In fact, once you really hit 100 or more of each Pikmin, that's kind of all you need, really. I like to see the number go up, so I'm gonna go collect as many of those little suckers as I can. Around here, confuse the hell out of the ship. Third area, the Forced Naval. Because of the yellow... There's a specific order in terms of the voyage log that Olimar does. Usually when you find a new area, that kind of takes precedence, but I guess the yellow Pikmin finding the yellow Pikmin or whatever take precedent over that. I don't know. There's a pattern to how these unlock with the ship's log. Not that you can see all of them in a single playthrough anyway. And most of it is just flavor text. Let's go. The Forest Naval. I'd say probably my personally least favorite area. It's my least favorite area. Not a bad area, just my least favorite. And we're gonna bring out 60 reds. And honestly, I'm just gonna have you guys kind of sit here. Okay, now I want to dismiss. Yeah, a lot of stone walls and not nearly enough bomb rocks to break all of them down. At least not super easily. But if we come over here, I find a blue take a guess what these guys do. Now, I'm sure somebody's done like a ROM hack or something, or you could mod this game in some way. I wonder what would happen if you swap this with the red or yellow onion. We have the blue guys. Okay, Steve is the red guys. Bob is the yellow guys. The blue guys I decided to call Mike. Anywho, it is a Pikmin of yet another color. Near this one's cheeks is what appears to be a set of gills. Which cheeks are we talking here? Because assuming Olimar is channeling the spirit of William Shatner, cheeks could mean two different things. This trait suggests to me that this blue type of Pikmin can enter the water without any trouble whatsoever. There's only one way to find out. Even though the onion is in the water and the seed falls into the water, and the fact that the seed didn't drown, I think is enough clues to the fact that it goes in water. I will use A to hold one, and press B to swap it out and issue it by commands. Oh, that fucker. This guy's that is the bread. He steals pellets from the Pikmin. You don't want to leave pellets around with him, because he'll take them. Which is why I didn't just go right ahead and tear these things down. I should be able to hopefully get his attention real quick. Bring through the thing, bring up the radar here. He's a star moving on the map, because some enemies have ship parts in them. And you have to defeat them to get them out. Is the bread bug coming or going? No. Where is he? Oh, did he just go back to his spawn point? Which would be over there somewhere. Let's not just specifically wait for him, let's just try to grow as many blue Pikmin as we can in the meantime. There's the bread bug. I just want to get him out of the way. Here we have a shearwig, which is basically a flying out sheargrub, who, just like the male sheargrubs, is invincible when he bites on a Pikmin. Hit him in the air, he dies instantly. He regenerates health pretty quickly. Oh, no, you don't. He only goes after the small stuff that takes only one Pikmin to carry. So, and if you have just one Pikmin on it, it'll lose the tug of war. And red bug will take him back to his den where he will be eaten. Unfortunately, having to... And with that, he hits his head on the onion. Takes practically his entire health bar. Let's see, will he go for that? No, he won't. He's going for that one. Hey. Get it. Is he okay? Oh. Okay, those are fiery blowhogs. They are basically walking pig flamethrowers. Red Pikmin are flame resistant because they're red. Fortunately, this is really the best spot to have a red bug. He drops. Thank goodness, my space float. This float is an absolute necessity for any pilot who lacks skill at swimming in space. For one, how the heck is this a ship part? It's an inner tube. It doesn't attach to a ship. It is. But yeah, there are what are called optional parts. The space float being one of them, and the Nova Blaster we picked up earlier also being one of them. So with Red Bug defeated, if they have a... Guys are so stupid. How the hell did you manage to survive before Olimar came along? No, really, how did you? It makes no sense. And we're just gonna have one little yellow here, just for the sake of having 100, so we don't have to pluck more Pikmin. But while they're bringing the float back, I'm gonna have them work on this. That's going to create effectively a path downward. I'm just going to have Olimar punch these things. It's like Chris Redfield, he just punches things. The red Pikmin, like I said, are flame resistant, so the blowhogs won't be able to hurt them. Though, if we're not careful, they could get flung into nearby water. Which, if you see that area where there's lines, that's water. And only the blues can go in water. The red guys can fight these blowhogs. Also, there's a weird glitch here where if you bring Pikmin underneath this thing for some reason, they just kind of die instantly. Yeah, this game has a lot of weird. There's a lot of weird shit going on here for a Nintendo game that, in terms of like glitches or whatever. On here, even though, again, you can't actually take damage because when you're red, you're resistant to fire. That's just how it works. There's the space float. Space float. An excellent swimmer like me has no need for something like this, but my motto is, always be prepared. Really. It's just for emergencies. 7 parts. I find just 5 more. Which should increase my ship's capabilities. Yep. Wait, no. Do not take this stuff yet. We are not ready to do that. Also, I like the sound these guys make when you beat them up. It really does sound like a pig. Also, what's funny is sometimes enemies will drop pellets when you defeat them. That's not a bug, that's a feature. According to one of the game's developers, it's a case where the enemies just kind of... the lumps in their stomach turn into pellets, basically. I'm gonna have you over here. Try to have them facing away from the water if you can. Because otherwise they will throw them into the water. When that happens, well, goodbye, Pikmin. I'm gonna have you carry this stuff. Over there we have the worst enemy in the game. The one variant of it. I don't trust myself around. I don't trust that thing to stay where it is. So we're just gonna let that blowhog live for the moment. Realistically, I should be saving this stuff for Mike, the blue Pikmin. So... I'm actually gonna spend the rest of the day trying to harvest more blue Pikmin. Hey, you guys, stop it. Same with you. And you. And you. You're carrying a red pellet, so you can just kind of... you can keep that. Let's go around this thing so we don't get any stragglers. And why not? It's a red pellet, you can have that one too. Actually, you guys can work on that wall. Meanwhile, we can have... I see some red in here. That's very bad. Reds do not do water. Grab that. Take that. Yeah, you guys are all... That sound means they finished the wall. Now we're gonna find the stragglers. There are quite a few here, I see. Oh. I was gonna have them take that blowhog, but being this close to sundown, I'm just gonna round these guys up. No. Keep doing that. Okay, those guys should be okay. I see some red guys over here. Come on, Steve. You don't want to get left behind, do ya? $59, 41, 3. I'm assuming that's all the blues. Let me zoom in. Okay, there's one yellow who's just standing there the whole time. There's all my reds. There's all the blues. Being under the blue onion, even though it's not at the with the ship, they'll be okay. Thankfully. We're just gonna have the... Actually, no, we're just gonna... For sake of just making sure no one actually... Like, some Pikmin don't get left planted in the ground, I'm just gonna round them all up. I hope that's all of them. The way the Pikmin AI is really dumb. They trip a lot. Sometimes you miss, sometimes you don't notice one tripping. And occasionally you lose a few. I will try my best to pick up any stragglers, but I can't guarantee I get all of them. You know you have stragglers if they get attacked by the enemies. Also, Olimar will make a comment about Pikmin that got left behind getting essentially eaten or whatever. 4 days since impact. Deep in the cave, I discovered in the forest, I encountered blue Pikmin. These blue fellows have something resembling gills on their cheeks. All 4 of them. And they appear to be amphibious, surviving both in water and on land. The wonders of nature never cease to stun me, even in this alien land. Okay, we didn't leave any behind. We did lose 2 in battle. Stupid shearwigs. But we're doing pretty good so far. Fuck. Just the space float here. Yeah, those stars indicate how many parts are in the area. This one has 9 total. 4 total is 8. And the impact site has 2. But now that we have blue and yellow Pikmin, we're gonna go back to the impact site to not only grab the other part, but to grow a shitload of Pikmin at the same time. Because if for whatever reason you're not satisfied with the number of Pikmin in your army, this is the place to go to get those numbers up high. So let's, for sake of not having to pluck any Pikmin, we're just gonna pull out 33 of each. 34 of the blue ones. Because it's the blue ones who will be doing the work of getting the ship parted on that. First, let's try to get some nectar, hopefully. The amount of nectar that comes out is random. Sometimes you get a lot, sometimes you don't get any. But when it falls out, it's Zerg Rush time. another over here. Get everyone, or mostly everyone? Okay, dismiss. That's the worst dismissal for the yellows I've seen in a long time. Actually, no, I need a few guys, so... So I need you to take down the wall. Oh, that's an iridescent flint beetle. It doesn't actually attack, but the Pikmin are very drawn to its shiny outside. If you throw Pikmin on top of it, it'll drop pellets. I just ignore it. Because it doesn't actually hurt us. Here we have pearly clamps, which are just clamshells. This one we can take care of by just throwing the bomb rocks at it. There we go. Boom goes the dynamite. And boom goes the little Pikmin, too. F in chat for Pikmin. Get stuck on that. Okay, we're gonna separate the blues from the yellows. I know that sounds racist, but that's just how this mechanic works. Also, the bomb rock holders go in their own separate category. For the other pearly clamps, they're around the water, so we have to just throw Pikmin, whistle back. Hopefully none of them get chopped. Get back. And also be careful, even though it's technically... the shell is technically still alive, even after the item falls out. And I saw one get chopped. Damn it! Okay, it's alright. Okay, there's the other ship part. I found the positron generator. By combining batteries with solar cells, this machine can generate incredible amounts of electricity. What a timely find. Those instant space noodles will taste better heated up. Yeah, you're eating cold space noodles? I mean, from what I understand, the reason Olimar is even flying out in the first place is he's supposed to be on, like, vacation from his job and his family. And he's just eating space noodles? Instant space noodles? Yeah, I wonder about your times, buddy. Just 20 for that. Let's throw these guys up here. Because you can tell there's 20 pellets for red, blue, and yellow. Again, that wall we opened earlier is not only a shortcut, but also what we need to do for them to get the part back to the ship. Positron generator. This electric generator is so powerful that if you approach it carelessly, you'll get an electric shock. But electricity wouldn't be a thing until the next game. Yeah, he says if you approach it, you'll get shocked, but it can't actually hurt you, thankfully. That would be some shit if it did, though. Talk about trolling the player. Get that 20 pellet, so that's 20 for the yellows. Whatever, these. We don't need all of them, we just need enough. So... And I didn't bring enough of those. Shit. It's okay, we got plenty of time. Nothing else can really hurt us here, so we don't have to worry about really losing any more Pikmin, unless we forget some. So you guys go over there, take that pellet. You guys take that pearl, which that pearl equals 50 Pikmin. Yes, 50. And unfortunately the clamp had a part in one of it. If you come back another time, it'll be replaced with another pearl. So that would be effectively 50 for each color. Fortunately, the yellows are just gonna kind of have to do without, being the least useful. They don't get the pearl. But if for whatever reason you needed it, you just come back and they'll do that. Here's a bundle of sticks. Dismiss the Pikmin, they'll just start building that up, so we can climb up there. Can't really see because I'm in the way, but yeah, that number is climbing ridiculously high. But you'll see at the end of the day. So they're climbing up there. Oh, they already destroyed the geyser. Okay, so blues. Take that. Reds. Take that. Okay, let's do some color coordination. Steve's, get on the red. Bob's, on the yellow. Mike's, on the blue. I didn't bring enough yellows, but... Thankfully, it's a very small area, so the Pikmin aren't really going to get lost, thankfully. Let's get some yellows up there, or at the very least, get the yellow pellet down with something or other. Got that. Not quite sure how to make that guy drop his bomb block, but... Blue, so please get it. pellets, as well as nectar. I typically ignore them because they can't... Pikmin can't actually hurt it, but it can't hurt us either, so... Let's go here. Are you okay there, buddy? Yes, Captain Momo Plus for support. Yeah, that sounds very much like a bot. We're gonna delete that. Let's just Sword Rush the flowers. And we'll color coordinate based on what they end up being when they get cut down. No, don't take that. Unfortunately, you can't see it because I'm in the way, but we have over 500 Pikmin now. Okay, between the Pearly Clamps, the 20 pellets, and the 10 pellets, that alone would make 80 Pikmin for each color. If you color coordinate with the 1 pellets well enough, you can potentially get around 100 Pikmin of each color. Coordinating with the Flint Beetles helps with that as well. Anyway, 10... I'm missing 10. Let's get you guys all here. I hear my niece making noise upstairs. Okay, 98. Those guys, I think, are stuck in the box. So, despite making a shitload of Pikmin today, I don't want to leave any behind if I can avoid it. I'm not having that shit on my conscience. I got enough guilt weighing on me as in real life as is. Okay, so we have 100. Yeah, look at those numbers for the onions. Anyway, since there's really nothing else to do, we're just gonna go straight to sunset, which, yeah, if you've cleared out an area, or whatever, you can just skip straight to sunset. I typically don't recommend that. Even if it's just setting up for the next day, you would want to do that whenever possible. The impact site is a small area though, so I believe I got all the pellets, so we're just gonna skip straight to sunset. And we get to watch all the Pikmin colors skip out as we whistle away. How does the whistle work, by the way? I know in Pikmin 3 they add, like, whistles to the helmets, but for this game they don't have that, so how the hell is Olimar able to whistle? Also, why do the Pikmin love the whistle so much? If I had something whistling in my ear that loud, I'd get annoyed after a while. Oh, horrors! A bomb explosion engulfed my Pikmin. That last horrified facial expression is burned into my memory. I must review my procedures for handling Pikmin with bomb rocks, so that I do not repeat this mistake. When I press A to throw Pikmin who are carrying bomb rocks, they will toss their bomb rocks at nearby obstacles or walls. When I load them into an onion, they will drop their bomb rocks. To separate bomb rock carriers from other Pikmin, I merely disband them with C or hold A and grab one for a moment. To switch the Pikmin I'm holding, you can press and hold A, then press B. It's a touch difficult to master, but master it I must. Let's see, 234 Pikmin sprouted today. Goddamn. We did lose 4 in battle, including 1 to the bomb rock, hence Olimar's message about, hey, be careful with these bomb rocks, they can hurt the Pikmin, so... And none left behind still, thankfully. But look at the numbers here, we got 241 red Pikmin, 171 blues, and 133 yellows. Honestly, that's pretty much set for the rest of the game. Yeah, this is a pretty short game, honestly. Which, given it was effectively a launch title for the GameCube, it kind of... I'm not gonna say it's a bad choice, but it's not the choice I personally would have made to make it kind of in between lengths. But whatever, fuck. Anyway, we've collected all the parts in the impact site. I'm going to do one more day here. And with yellow Pikmin, we go back to the Forest of Hope. We have blue Pikmin, we can explore various areas. And get certain parts that we technically can get without the blue Pikmin, but I'm not skilled enough to pull off those maneuvers. Those little, those type of tricks where you can get to an area that normally requires blue Pikmin, but do it without blue Pikmin. Speaking of, we're just gonna draw all 100. Onto the nectar. Okay, that disappointed little squeak means they're done. That's all of those. Okay, these bulborbs did respawn. Most enemies will respawn after a couple of days. There's certain ones that don't, specifically ones that are carrying item parts or ship parts. Like that bread bug that we took out that had a space float. He's not coming back. Unfortunately, these little fellas will. And one got chopped. You can see here, this bridge. It can be done without blue Pikmin. The Wii version, I think, probably makes it a little easier. But I'm not taking that chance. Anyway, those are log poles over there. They don't do anything. They're worth only 1 seed, so it's not even worth hunting them down. Though with what the log poles evolve into, you'll want to hunt them. If if only to just for the sake of wanting to wipe out their entire lineage. You guys can go on that. I guess you can carry the corpses back. I know that sounds morbid calling them corpses, but I don't know what else to call them. On that. Over here while they're doing that. Multitasking. That's basically the game. Multitasking the game. Since just trying to have Pikmin doing certain things at certain times. And for Pikmin 1, just kind of hoping the AI is just smart enough to avoid getting in trouble. But I don't know about that. I'm gonna try for all 3 today. I can't guarantee I'll get that last one, but why aren't you reacting to my whistle? And why am I waiting here? I can just throw you over here to grab the part, which begs the question. Even though these are blue Pikmin, they can just carry through the water. Their programming tells them to carry it over this bridge. Even though they're blue Pikmin, they can go through water, no trouble. I found my Sagittarius. My son gave this to me as a present. It brings to mind visions of my son back home on planet Hokotate. Oh, to be back there right now. Yeah, apparently his son gave this to him. And from what I've gathered, given that it's named after, you know, the astrological sign, I've heard that this part may function as like a star chart of sorts. Hence the name hence calling it a Sagittarius. Have these guys carry some of this crap back. Even though, again, I'm pretty much set for Pikmin for the rest of the game, but, you know, number go up, brain give dopamine. And I need all the dopamine I can fucking get, honestly. It's on the other side, but... Anyway, Sagittarius. This was a gift for my son. He must be very worried about me. Better question is why you went on vacation without your wife and kids. Because that was what apparently was going on here before Olimar crash landed. Anyway, 9 parts, 3 more means increasing the ship's capabilities. Oh good, these guys are almost done. But you can Zerg Rush and get even faster. And that's taken care of. And we got a big boy up there. Technically, we don't even have to fight him. He's... Damn it. Supposed to be guarding a piece in... Looking over here, this part always kind of reminded me of Mr. Game & Watch. That being a head and where the star is being his nose. I don't know, my brain does weird shit. Comes up with weird shit. Yeah. Technically, if you don't feel comfortable fighting that guy, you can have have Pikmin carry the part while Olimar acts as bait. Personally, though, I think, personally, you want to take it on because that... It looks intimidating, but he's really not. Also, he's worth 50 Pikmin, just like the pearls. Definitely no demon spider from Sim Ant, but it's funny. It's funny because the environment and the backgrounds are super detailed, but then the Pikmin and the enemies and the obstacles like this wall are very cartoonish. A weird contrast, but. 99 Pikmin. Let me get my fight music going here. So we can take this guy on. Into battle! Inhales. Block. Come on, boy. Take the bull by the balls, put Pikmin in his snoot, and then swarm his back. And he's dead. Okay, we're gonna cancel my fight music there. Okay. At last, my radiation canopy. This turns the harsh radiation of deep space into soft infrared rays that are easy on the body. I'll sleep like a baby once I get this back to the ship. Okay, you guys are gonna take that. You guys are gonna drag this corpse back. Again, it's the armored cannon beetle, which is what this thing is called. Looks intimidating, but he's really not. He's really not tough at all. He is worth 50 Pikmin, so... Right. And now, the parts we're getting, some of them show up on the ship, others don't. The Sagittarius is on the other side, the canopy, basically the cockpit. Cock. A radiation canopy. I'll have to inspect it later to make sure it isn't to make sure it hasn't cracked. I'll be in for even more trouble if I have any radiation leaks. I've now recovered 10 parts. My ship is 1/3 of the way built. Or rebuilt. If I find just 2 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. You guys. I'm gonna put all of you on there. Oh, little guy got lost. Well, he's probably gonna get left behind. Sadly. I know that sounds cruel, but I mean, a Pikmin here and there doesn't really bother me that much. It's when I lose a whole swarm full that I really feel the need to just reset the day. But anyway, Zerg Rush. And he's dead. Yes. ideally, you want to use reds to fight, because reds are actually slightly stronger in terms of damage done to enemies, but I prefer to go with blues simply because when you go in with like 90 Pikmin, it doesn't really matter what color you use. And I keep getting fucking crushed. Zerg Rush. Also, as you can see there's a little glitch. I have 83 Pikmin out on the field, but my counter shows I have 84 in my squad. That's just a little glitch that happens. I think it has to do with sometimes Pikmin getting crushed. That can have an effect, but I'm not too sure. All I know is I'm picking these guys up. I don't know why, but I am. You can just take that. Meanwhile, I'm gonna grab more blues, so we don't have to pluck them. A bit of waiting sometimes, but again, those numbers go up, brain happy. 76 here. I know I have some left by that box. Out of 100, good enough. Here we have snake birds, annoying as heck. Why is my thrower not working? Okay, I'm not getting this part today. Never mind. Remember this shit when they try to tell you that birds are real, because they aren't. Right. Okay, I said I was going to try for the parts. I didn't say I was necessarily going to get all of them, but get over here! Fucking dumbasses. Come on. Get over here! Fortunately, that one guy I'm not going to be able to get to in time, sadly. But at least we get to see what happens now if a Pikmin gets left behind. Sadly. Also, we can just skip this by pressing the A button. That'll take us straight to the 6 days since impact. The Pikmin that I did not bring back to the onion all vanished overnight. It may well be that they have fallen prey to the planet's nocturnal creatures. An ugly thought. Perhaps that is why they follow me into the atmosphere. I am starting to grasp the cycles of life on this planet. That is totally not Earth, by the way. And you can see here, we now have 270 blues. Yeah, they took a massive spike. 124 sprouted, 24 lost in battle. I'm pretty sure they got crushed and not actually eaten, but lost in battle is just no way of saying they died without saying they died. This game is rated E for everyone, despite the fact that it can be pretty morbid at times. And one fella unfortunately got left behind. Hence Olimar's little speech there about the Pikmin that didn't make it back, got left up, they vanished, they got eaten. It's a nice way to help newcomers by explaining certain mechanics to them if they, for whatever reason, forget or didn't figure it out for themselves. But that's basically gonna call it for today. I'll save here. That one part is freaking taunting me, but I mean, I'm good at this game, but I never said I was like the best Pikmin player ever. So who can I raid? Let's see. Who's open for a raid? Okay, I'm gonna raid that person. Tomorrow I'll be back, and I will continue this. I'll go back to the Force of Hope, get that last fucking part that I missed. Then we'll see where we go from there. I'm not 100% certain I'll be able to finish tomorrow, but I will certainly try my best. So, anyway, Sir Manderson, thank you for the follow. Fortunately, we're wrapping it up for today, but I'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till then, this is Jack Rid VT. Ride the wind.